Hi there, my name is Josh, and today I'm going to show you, by the book, how to add and replace RAM in your system. This is going to apply to both a desktop, larger DIMMs, really laid out motherboard, and more tedious process would be to the laptop. And I'm going to use my own personal laptop here, the Acer Aspire 5 Slim. Can you believe that they packed 11 Radeon graphics cards in there? Crazy! So this is RAM. This is a desktop DIMM. Whenever you turn on your computer, Windows and say Google Chrome will go into these chips. And it'll be spread out, and this RAM is connected directly to your processor. And whenever you're looking at something on screen, even when you're watching this video has been buffered into RAM. It pushes through your graphics card to make a frame, and you're watching me talk and speak right now. That is what RAM does. It keeps stuff when you're working on it. So let's get into how to add it and replace it. By the way, don't do that. They're very fragile. And we're going to show you how to do it by the book. Let's get into it. So step one, make sure your system is shut down. If you have a desktop, shut it down the normal way and then unplug it. Make sure it's unplugged for at least 10 seconds before you even start taking off the case. For a laptop though, you absolutely want to make sure you say shut down and shut down. There we go. So it's going to shut down. You're going to want to make sure that it actually fully shuts down. And reason I say that is when your computer is in a sleep mode or like a hibernate mode, it's still on. And that can be very bad if you're moving and replacing these components when it's on. So for a laptop, it can be kind of tricky. Listen for a fan. So kind of put your ear up to the fan. Some laptops still have a hard disk, so you can listen and hear if that's spinning. Check for any lights. So this one has a power light, it has a charging light, and it'll like flash if it's sleeping. So definitely take a look out for those. Ultimately, just assume it's still on until you've disconnected the battery, which leads us into our next step. Open up the case. If you have a desktop, that's pretty easy. Just take off the panel and it's out. For a laptop, we're going to take out probably like 12 screws, carefully pry this open, and then we'll be able to see where the RAM is. And the battery. Battery's like along here. Anyways, let's get into it. So here we have the battery and we have the RAM that we're going to be messing with. By the way, don't touch stuff like that when everything's still connected. What I'm going to do is disconnect the battery. And if you are working on a desktop, you definitely want to touch the case or something that you know is grounded. And for this, I would touch some metal parts in here and nothing on the circuit board. That is to eliminate all the static in your body. There is like these strange anti-static wrist straps. I don't recommend those unless you're working on this stuff for like extended periods of time. So power cord is off. What I'm going to do now is going to look weird, but it makes sense. Is I'm going to press the power button a few times, and the reason I do that is if there is any kind of residual power in there, the system will use that up in trying to start up. And that way I know the board is completely clear. We've been off for 10 seconds. We've tried to turn it on, and this will work the same for desktops as well. Okay, so this is our RAM right here. In desktops, it's obviously a lot bigger. So what the RAM does is it connects directly into this. This is our CPU. in the laptop. It kind of serves a lot of purpose, and we'll call this the SoC from now on. So now that we have unplugged this, stayed off for 10 seconds, we know everything is off. We have grounded ourselves to the case, and we know that there's no static on us. Now we can actually work with these, and they're very simple to work with. Just press out on one of these clamps, and press out, and you'll find that it just snaps up. And from here, I can now take this out. For the purpose of this video, I just wanted to see what kind of specs we have here. This is 8 gigabytes PC4, which means DDR4. It's 2400T, that is a speed rating. And I see that the other one is also 8 gigabytes DDR4 and it is the same speed. So with that said, the system can run in what's called a dual channel memory, and I'll explain that more in another video, but basically more efficient at transferring stuff to the processor. So for now, I'm just going to, take them out, make sure that there's nothing on the contacts, and put them back in. Click. And you want to make sure that they're fully in there. You don't want them out like that. That's very bad, and you also can't really click it down. So you want to make sure it's in, and then you push down on that, and that is how you do it. So from here, we're not fully done. We're gonna put everything back together. We're gonna turn the system on and make sure that it's working. So at this point, this is kind of the moment of truth, and we're gonna see if we did it right. And a couple of things could happen here that are related to this. So if I press the power button and the system is kind of caught in this loop of not doing anything, not showing Acer on the screen or whatever, whoever made it, that can be a problem. And that's usually a sign of something isn't seated properly and it can't, what's called initialize the RAM. This initialization is done at post. It basically writes 0 to every cell, and the RAM is cleared and made sure it's ready. So basically it'll write and then say, oh, did that write? Do good. So that could be something wrong. If I turn it on and everything seems to work for a little bit and then it just crashes, that is also a RAM issue. There's tools like Memory Diagnostic and MemTest, and Windows has something built in. If you just search for memdiag in the search bar, it'll show you. Enough talking, let's see if it worked. This is its post, and starting to load Windows. Good sign. First thing I'm going to do when I get into Windows is open up Task Manager, and that is a quick and easy way to see what kind of memory I do have. So in here it says the memory is running at 2400 megahertz, just like it said on the RAM stick. There's 2 of 2, so there's definitely 2 sticks in there. It tells you what form factor this is, no problem. Hardware reserved, that's a portion that is used for running like the graphics card, the system display, keyboard drivers, basically all the components in your system. So it took 2 gigabytes of memory for that. That's kind of crazy. And then we can also look at the total capacity of the memory. So if I take hardware reserved and add it to what it says is available, 13.9 plus 2.1, we get 16 gigabytes. So if you had a desktop, you would make sure your case is back on. A laptop, you definitely want to make sure, like another step is to make sure your battery is working. If you didn't disconnect your battery and you're on AC, well, that would be a problem down the road. And for here, I'm not on AC and the battery is working. There is one more thing I'd like to go over. I'm gonna put laptop to the side there. And that is the dual channel memory. This can be explained really quickly and how to actually put it in. I have this Asus H97 Plus. Doesn't matter what it is, it has 4 slots. If you had 2 slots, you wouldn't have to worry about this. But since I have 4 slots, I want to make sure that I put it in the correct slots. And they're usually marked right here. It says DIM A1, A2, B1, B2. That is channel A and channel B. And then that is the banks 1 and 2 of that. So if I have two identical memory sticks, I put it in channel A and then channel B in bank 1 and bank 1, I will be able to have dual channel memory. It works. It's better, it transfers faster, it just creates a more efficient machine, you'll get more FPS in games, and honestly, why not? If you've bought two sticks, you might as well do it. It is literally double the bandwidth. But if I was to take this stick and put it into bank 2 of channel A, well, channel A now has 16 gigabytes of RAM and channel B has nothing, and we can't do that dual channel memory. Just something you really need to look out for, and if you're running a laptop and considering an upgrade, make sure you get a pretty identical memory chip. I won't go into more of that. That's for another time. But this video is definitely a by-the-book example of how to add, replace RAM, or basically just deal with it and work with it in a safe manner. When you make mistakes with this, it's very costly. When you break a board, you can fry a CPU, you can fry the board, you can break the RAM. You definitely want to make sure that you do this correctly. And take your time, be patient, and touch the case as often as possible. Static is very bad for electronics. This is a DDR2 stick, this is a DDR3 stick, and the DDR4 stick looks different. You cannot use DDR2 in a DDR3 board. You cannot use DDR3 in a DDR4 board. And you will figure out pretty quickly that they don't physically go in there, and that's for a reason. So my name's Josh, and today you have learned how to add, replace, move RAM in a system, how to physically work with it, and I hope that you guys take these lessons, work on your systems in a very safe manner, and I don't want you to have any mistakes happen along the way. Take your time, do it well, and if you get it right the first time, you don't have to do it again. So, thanks for watching. Please like, please subscribe, and have a good day. Bye.